10 years ago, in a small public high school in Ohio, everyone knew Jake Carter. He was rich, confident, and cruel in the quiet way that hurt the most. His father owned several small manufacturing companies, and Jake never let anyone forget it. He wore expensive shoes, drove a new car at 16, and laughed the loudest when someone else was struggling. And no one struggled more visibly than Lily Brooks. Lily was the girl who wore the same worn-out hoodie every winter. Her shoes were always a size too big, bought years ago by her mother to last longer. Her father had died when she was 12, leaving behind hospital bills and a tiny apartment above a grocery store. After school, Lily worked at a diner washing dishes instead of attending football games like everyone else. Every day, Jake made sure she remembered her place. "Hey, charity case," he once said loudly in the cafeteria, holding up her lunch tray. "Is that today's gourmet meal?" The whole table laughed. Lily's hands shook as she picked up her tray and walked away. She never cried in front of anyone. She learned that tears only gave people more power. But that night, alone in her room, she whispered to herself, "One day, my life will be different." Jake's cruelty reached its peak on graduation day. As students lined up for their caps and gowns, Lily overheard Jake talking to his friends. "Bro, imagine her future," he scoffed, nodding toward Lily. "Probably cleaning toilets while we run companies." His friends laughed. Lily heard every word. She didn't respond. She simply walked across the stage, accepted her diploma with trembling hands, and disappeared into the crowd. Jake never saw her again. At least, not for 10 years. Lily's life after high school was not easy. She attended a community college by day and worked at night. Some weeks, she slept only 4 hours a day. She studied business because she was fascinated by how money worked, how it moved, how it grew, and how it was lost. A professor noticed her talent one day after class. "You think like an investor," he told her. Not many students do. That single sentence changed her life. With scholarships, part-time jobs, and relentless effort, Lily transferred to a top university in Chicago. She learned about startups, markets, and technology. While others partied, she built small online businesses from her dorm room. Most of them failed, but one succeeded, an app that helped small local shops manage their inventory. A major tech company acquired it for millions. At 26 years old, Lily Brooks became a millionaire. But she didn't stop. She reinvested. She learned. She built again. By 28, she was a powerful investor in the Midwest startup scene. By 30, she quietly became a multi-millionaire. The poor girl everyone had laughed at now controlled more money than most of her former classmates could imagine. And no one from her old town knew. Until Jake Carter's company began to fail. Jake had inherited his father's manufacturing business after college. At first, things went smoothly. The company had a strong reputation and loyal clients. But Jake was careless. He ignored innovation. He mocked digital transformation. "People will always need our products," he told his board. "Why change what already works?" While competitors modernized, Jake's company fell behind. Orders dropped. Profits shrank. By the time he realized he was in trouble, it was too late. One morning, Jake was summoned to an emergency board meeting. "We're out of options," his financial advisor said nervously. "We can't cover payroll for the next quarter." The room was silent. "There is one offer," the advisor added. "A private investment firm wants to acquire controlling shares." Jake stiffened. "Who?" "They operate through a holding company called Brooks Capital." The name meant nothing to Jake. "Do it," he snapped. "We don't have a choice." The deal moved quickly. Within weeks, Brooks Capital became the majority owner of Carter Manufacturing. Jake lost control of the company his family had built. And he still had no idea who had just bought it. The day of the official takeover, all senior staff were ordered to attend a meeting in the executive conference room. Jake walked in late, irritated and stressed. The room was filled with serious faces, lawyers, investors, executives he had never met. At the head of the table stood a woman in a navy blue suit. Calm, confident, unshakable. "This is Ms. Brooks," one of the lawyers announced. "The new majority owner of Carter Manufacturing." Jake barely looked up at first. Then she turned toward him. And time stopped. Those same soft eyes. That same quiet strength. But now, they belonged to a woman radiating power. Lily Brooks. Jake's face drained of color. You, he whispered. Lily offered a professional smile. Good morning, Mr. Carter. The room felt suddenly very small. After the meeting ended, Jake approached her, struggling to speak. Lily, I didn't know. I mean, this is unexpected. She met his eyes calmly. Life is unexpected. He swallowed. Why buy my company? She paused. Because it was undervalued, she said simply. And because I know what it's like to be underestimated. Jake's chest tightened. Memories flooded back. Cafeteria laughter, graduation mockery, cruel jokes. I was young, he said quietly. I was stupid. You were cruel, Lily interrupted softly. There's a difference. Silence hung between them. Then she spoke again, steady and controlled. I didn't buy your company for revenge. I bought it because it was a smart business move. But don't confuse my success as something you helped create. I succeeded despite what you did. Jake nodded slowly, shame written across his face. Under Lily's leadership, the company transformed. She modernized operations, introduced automation, expanded digitally, and saved hundreds of jobs Jake's poor management had nearly destroyed. Within a year, profits soared higher than they had ever been. Jake was offered a reduced executive role under her authority. One evening, after a long board meeting, he approached her again. I never apologized properly, he said. For what I did back then. Lily finished packing her laptop and looked at him. I don't need your apology anymore, she said. I needed it 10 years ago. Today, I only need respect. He nodded. You have it. She walked past him without another word. Months later, Lily returned to her old town for the first time since graduation. She visited her mother's grave, stood quietly, and whispered, "We made it." As she drove through the familiar streets, she no longer felt pain, only peace. Jake, from his office window, once watched Lily leave the building in her car. He finally understood the full weight of what he had lost, not his company, but his humanity. The poor girl he once laughed at had risen higher than he ever imagined. And the bully had learned his lesson far too late.